clarity of policy helps attract investment, strengthen currency value. Government to increase rice cultivation in Sabah and Sarawak. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm SAHIH and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. The clarity of policies, including for the Madani economy, the National Energy Transition Roadmap (NETR), and the new Industrial Master Plan 2030 and IMP 2030 can help in attracting investments and strengthening the value of the ringgit. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the ringgit's performance this year was largely driven by external factors. He said these factors include the sharp strengthening of the US dollar that has been driven by higher US interest rates as well as China's weaker than expected economic conditions. Therefore, he pointed out that most of the world's currencies have experienced depreciation for the year 2023, including the ringgit, because of the actions of the US Federal Reserve which raised interest rates.
Nilai ringgit ini tidak bergantung kepada fundamentals. Pertumbuhan baik, pelaburan baik. Inflasi turun, kadar pengangguran turun, nilai ringgit turun. Dia tidak maknanya selari dengan economic policy atau position atau argument. Apa langkah-langkah lain yang boleh diambil hanya memperkuatkan ekonomi tempatan. Kerana selagi kadar faedah kita, Indonesia menaikkan. Jadi kalau ketimbang OPR yang kita sebut atau kadar faedah Indonesia itu tinggi. Jadi dia dapat menampung. Itu pun tidak sepenuhnya. Kita mengambil dasar supaya tidak meningkatkan OPR semata-mata ketimbang kedudukan dolar Amerika.
Speaking in Parliament today, he said the government through Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) has also implemented short-term measures to ensure that the ringgit's adjustment is in order. Datuk Seri Anwar said to deal with the volatility of the foreign exchange market, BNM will continue to manage risks from domestic and external developments as well as be prepared to use its operational policy instruments to ensure orderly market conditions. On another note, the Premier said Malaysia will take immediate steps to enhance the ease of doing business in the country by expediting approval for projects. He said this was important as many investors have voiced their concerns with regard to the delay in approvals.
Itu saya telah menetapkan supaya kita lakukan perubahan yang agak mendadak, bukan saja one stop center di MITI, tetapi Jawatankuasa Tindakan Penerasan Pelaburan dan Perdagangan di bawah Menteri MITI dengan kerjasama JPM, Jabatan Perdana Menteri. Dan ini akan memastikan projek-projek itu diluluskan dengan kadar segera.
He said this in response to a question regarding the outcome of the working visit overseas, including in terms of investments, cooperation between countries, and the level of foreign investment confidence in Malaysia. The government recognises the need to expand rice cultivation areas in Sabah and Sarawak in an effort to boost rice supply and ensure national food security. According to Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Seri Mohamad Sabu, apart from Kedah, the country's rice supply relies heavily on Perak, Kelantan, Terengganu, Perlis and Seberang Perai, Pulau Pinang. However, every time the usual flood season occurs on the northern and eastern coast, usually in December and January, it leads to damaged or reduced rice yields, affecting the nation's rice supply.
Kita mesti membina security makanan kita, terutama beras di Sabah dan Sarawak. Oleh itu kita kena bincang secara serius supaya Sabah dan Sarawak ini akan dipertingkatkan perluasan penanaman padi, dan kita memohon sama ada bajet ini kalau tak sempat apa-apa peruntukan pada masa akan datang untuk membuat sistem pairan yang lebih baik supaya Sabah dan Sarawak dapat mempertingkatkan pengeluaran padi pada masa yang akan datang.
Speaking in Parliament today, Datuk Seri Mohamad added that there is sufficient rice supply to accommodate the country's domestic needs for the next 4 to 5 months. Earlier, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said Felkra would collaborate with Sarawak and Sabah state governments to develop between 15,000 to 20,000 hectares of land in both states for collective paddy planting purposes. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof has ordered all relevant government agencies to make thorough preparations to face the northeast monsoon season. Speaking to reporters after officiating a meeting of the state heads of departments and federal agencies in Kota Baru today, he said the monsoon season could result in floods in the east coast, especially in Kelantan.
Kalau berlakunya banjir, di mana pusat pemindahan? Apakah bantuan yang perlu disediakan? Termasuklah kemudahan pengangkutan untuk mengangkat orang, memindahkan orang daripada tempat banjir ke pusat pemindahan, makanan mereka dan semua logistik itu perlu disiapsiagakan. Dan ini memerlukan apa orang kata kerjasama ataupun sinergi yang melibatkan keseluruhan agensi kerajaan kita.
Earlier in his speech, Datuk Seri Fadilah said the safety and welfare of flood victims should always be a priority in addition to the readiness of all agencies, especially those who provide assistance or are in charge of managing resources and logistics. The allowances for contract preachers of the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia JAKIM, State Islamic Religious Department JAIN and State Islamic Religious Councils MAIN are recommended to be increased. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that the allowances given to community facilitators for the Orang Asli, preachers and religious teachers should be raised in line with the minimum wage rates. Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid, who is also the Minister of Rural Development and Territories, said that the proposal is reasonable after taking into account various aspects that need to be addressed, especially among converts of Mu'alaf in rural areas.
Secara relatifnya masih rendah. Apa yang saya sarankan tadi supaya allowance untuk mereka itu ditambah kerana kerja-kerja dakwah ini menyantuni banyak permasalahan terutamanya di kalangan saudara-saudara baharu di kawasan pendalaman.
He was met at the National Madani Mu'alaf Convention 2023 held in Bangi today. Coming up next, accelerate sustainable manufacturing in aerospace. Malaysia needs both speed and scale to accelerate sustainable manufacturing practices and proactively develop the country's aerospace industry, according to Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz. To that end, he said the country needs partners like US jet maker Boeing to share its technology and help make sustainable manufacturing a reality in Malaysia.
And as you know, aerospace industry is one of the key sectors under Malaysia's new investment policy as well, one of the 5 key sectors. And the recently launched National Industrial Master Plan also illustrates and accentuates about the importance of the aerospace industry for Malaysia.
He said this at the opening ceremony of Boeing NICO Aerospace Supply Chain Forum in Kuala Lumpur today. Citing Boeing's 2017 initiative on its 3D printed brackets for the galleys of its 787 Dreamliners, the minister commended Boeing on its pioneering sustainability initiatives. Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul noted that sustainable manufacturing technology is also synonymous with massive cost savings. Furthermore, he added that MITI aims to make the suppliers within every manufacturing ecosystem to be more resilient through the new Industrial Master Plan 2030's mission on economic security and inclusivity. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil said the allocation appeal by the ministry in the 2024 budget, among others, is to focus on developing the country's 5G network. Elaborating further on the matter, Fahmi said if the allocation was approved, more micro, small and medium industries will benefit from the advancement in technology.
salah satu aspek yang sangat penting ialah pelaksanaan 5G dan penerimaan dan penggunaan 5G oleh industri. Jadi saya harap ini salah satu daripada perkara yang dalam pertimbangan yang kita pohon dapat diluruskan supaya lebih banyak syarikat SME, PMKS yang dapat memanfaatkan teknologi 5G.
The minister further noted that the growth or usage of 5G as of 30th September has reached 70.2% in residential areas. On another note, Fahmi said the town hall session with television program producers organised by RTM's broadcast department is a platform to understand the challenges and issues faced by the television program's broadcasting industry. He said 44 companies had received letters of acceptance to produce and supply new private television programs and serials to be broadcasted by RTM next year. The Unity government's goal of putting a dot in the nation's poverty needs to become one of the important keys in the government's main performance index, which should be catered to systematically through Budget 2024. Specific allocations from the budget allows better basic necessity to modernise local agriculture, thus improving livelihood for the B40 and M40 groups respectively. Maisara Fauzi files this report.
Director of Real Estate at University Technology Malaysia, UTM, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Najib Razali said the 2024 budget needs to pay attention to fundamental aspects like roadway and utilities. Besides observing important factors that B40 and M40 face in overcoming economic challenges. By that, targeted subsidiaries, especially regarding food, should be highlighted to prevent B40 and M40 from spending beyond their own monthly income.
Jadi di situ, bila perkara basic macam ni, asas macam ni kita dapat tackle, dapat kita perbaiki. Jadi aspek inklusif tu dapat kita mungkin dapat dilaksanakan tidak hanya pada bajet ataupun belanjawan 2024, belanjawan yang akan datang 2025-26 itu juga perlu diinklusif kerana setiap kali belanjawan ianya memang tidak boleh dicapai dalam masa setahun, ianya perlu jangka panjang.
The involvement of the middle class in modern agriculture is a proactive step, as increased agricultural production can lessen the reliance on imported goods. Thus, controlling the living cost, which is currently on the rise.
Perlu dititik beratkan dan perlu diberi peruntukan yang tinggi ialah pendidikan. Pendidikan itu tidak hanya pendidikan tinggi. Nanti pendidikan itu termasuk TVET. Contoh kursus-kursus untuk pertanian, ya, vocational, technical, macam mana nak memastikan bahawa teknologi dapat mempertingkatkan pengeluaran pertanian contohnya. Latihan-latihan ini kepada penduduk atau masyarakat di desa contoh untuk meningkatkan pendapatan. Tidak salah pada saya seorang anak petani untuk terus menjadi dia juga menjadi petani, tetapi petani yang berpengetahuan, yang tahu macam mana nak meningkatkan pengeluaran, productivity contohnya.
Traders and consumers are eager for the goods price to be under control, besides getting ready to convert to the latest agriculture system.
Okey, kita sebagai pengguna kita just nak harga yang stabil lah. Harga yang stabil lepas tu dan harapkan kerajaan boleh bagi lebih subsidi kepada pengguna-pengguna kita lah. So kita perlukan harga yang mampu milik lah untuk rakyat-rakyat bawah, especially golongan B40 lah. So itu harapan saya sebagai pengguna lah kan.
The 2024 budget should consider many aspects in order to achieve the nation's zero poverty target by this year. And by that, several effective plans must be implemented to support those that are struggling with daily lives. Maisara Fauzi, RTM.
Still ahead, 3 people killed by runaway bus in Spain. No Malaysians were reported to be injured or directly affected by the earthquake that hit Herat province, Afghanistan on 7th October. This matter was confirmed by the Foreign Affairs Ministry through the Malaysian High Commission in New Delhi in a statement today. The Malaysian government expressed its condolences and deep sympathy to the government and people of Afghanistan who were affected by the earthquake, which resulted in the loss of many lives and thousands of injuries, as well as the destruction of property and public infrastructure. According to the statement, currently consular affairs involving Malaysians in Afghanistan are handled by the Malaysian High Commission in New Delhi. More than 11,000 people were affected, while 2,500 were reported dead as a result of a series of strong earthquakes that hit the country last Saturday. 3 people were killed and 3 others injured when a school bus lost control and hit pedestrians in Cadiz in southern Spain on Monday, according to emergency services. Cadiz firefighters on social media network X said the bus ran over several people who were on the pavement, adding that no one on the bus was injured. Firefighters were seen dragging a palm tree off the top of the bus, which came to a stop outside of a department store. The front windows of the bus were completely shattered. The Andalusian government in a statement said 3 people were injured and taken to hospital, with one of whom has serious injuries. Cadiz official Jose Pacheco said it appears to have been a brake failure, as the first images showed the bus arriving at high speed, unable to brake, with the movement of the bus made it consistent with this idea. The driver of the bus, however, tested negative for alcohol, the city council said in a statement. The head of the regional government of Andalusia, Juan Manuel Moreno, said he was overwhelmed by the news of the unfortunate accident in Cadiz. Britain's main opposition Labour Party at its annual conference said that power was finally within their grasp and that it was ready to rebuild Britain following 13 years of Conservative rule. Rachel Reeves, who is set to become the UK's first female finance minister if her party wins the next general election, told delegates that her party's economic mission is to restore growth to Britain. Her party, led by Keir Starmer, has been riding high in the polls for more than a year and is widely expected to take power at the next election, which has to be called by January 2025 at the latest.
We will take on our antiquated planning system. Since 2012, decision times for national infrastructure have increased by 65%, now taking 4 years. With Labour, that will change. So today, I am announcing our plans to get Britain building.
The UK is in the midst of a cost of living crisis sparked by the war in Ukraine, Brexit and pandemic lockdowns. The ruling Conservatives have had 3 leaders since the last election in 2019, with Rishi Sunak taking over from Liz Truss after her radical tax slashing agenda spooked the financial markets. Coming up in sports, Palestine withdraw from 2023 Merdeka tournament. Stay with us.
Dengan misi mesti menang, semangat perjuangan terus diledakkan dalam setiap pertembungan. 14 pasukan, satu sorakan. Liga Super 2023 bersama kami di RTM, rakan penyiar NFL Liga Malaysia 2023.
The Palestinian football team have confirmed their withdrawal from the 42nd edition of the 2023 Merdeka tournament due to the tense situation in their country at the moment. Football Association of Malaysia FAM Deputy President Dato' S. Siva Sundaram said the Palestinian team's withdrawal was made at the last minute after receiving confirmation from the Palestinian Football Association at about 2 a.m. today. Despite Palestine's withdrawal, he said the competition format would remain unchanged, with just 3 teams, Malaysia, India and Tajikistan, taking part.
Malaysia play India at 9 p.m. Tajikistan will get a bye, and whoever the winners of Malaysia-India will play with Tajikistan in the finals.
Briefing reporters today, he said, based on the original schedule, Palestine was scheduled to meet Tajikistan on Friday, with Malaysia taking on India the same day, with the winners meeting in the final and the losers in the third, fourth placing match. Asked if FAM would seek a replacement for Palestine, Datuk Siva Sundaram said there was insufficient time to do so, as other teams had already made plans for friendly matches with other countries. The recent clashes in Palestine involving Hamas, the ruling authority in Gaza, and the Israeli regime have resulted in the loss of hundreds of lives on both sides since 7th October. National kegger Natasha Mohamed Roslan blazed the alley in All-Malaysian final to clinch the women's singles gold medal and end the country's 12-year title drought in the event at the World Bowling Championship in Salmiya, Kuwait on Monday. The 27-year-old beat compatriot Sin Lee Jane 2-1 in the best-of-3 format at the Kuwait Bowling Sporting Club to capture her first individual goal at the World Meet. Natasha began the final in style, downing 259 pins compared to Lee Jane's 194. Undaunted, Lee Jane bounced back to win the second game, 238 to 162, but in the decider, there was no stopping Natasha, who romped to a 185 to 165 win. Jacqueline Shijo was the last Malaysian to have won the women's singles gold medal in the 2011 edition in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, South Korea Hong Hang-ni and Song Hai-rin, who lost in the semi-finals, took home the bronze medal. Shanghai Masters top seed Carlos Alcaraz fought through what he called one of the toughest matches this year to make the tournament's final 16, beating Britain's Daniel Evans 7-6, 6-4. Alcaraz's nearly 2.5-hour match was ferociously physical, with 33rd rank Evans giving as good as he got, leading at 1 point by 3 games in the first set. But over the course of prolonged and sometimes scrappy rallies that left spectators gasping and groaning, the world number 2 gradually assumed control, comprehensively winning the first set tiebreaker. The Spaniard is the only one of the tournament's top 4 seeds left after Stefano Tsitsipas of Greece crashed out in a late-night match to France Ugo Humbert 6-4, 3-6, 7-5. Alcaraz will next play Bulgarian Grigor Dimitrov. Formula One's governing body will take action to protect drivers from the sort of extreme heat and humidity they suffered during Sunday's Qatar Grand Prix. Some of those racing in the heat ended up on the verge of collapse, vomiting and severely dehydrated after the checkered flag, while Williams rookie Logan Sargent felt too ill to continue. The International Automobile Federation said in a statement it had begun an analysis into the situation in Qatar to provide recommendations for future situations of extreme weather conditions. Measures may include guidance for competitors, research into modifications for more efficient airflow in the cockpit, and recommendations for changes to the calendar to align with acceptable climatic conditions, amongst others. The FIA said measures would be discussed at a meeting of its medical commission in Paris. The track temperature during the night race at the Lusail circuit, where Red Bull Max Verstappen claimed a third world title, never dropped below 36 degrees Celsius, while daytime temperatures exceeded 40 degrees. The FIA noted that the next year's race in Qatar will be held in December, when temperatures should be lower, but said it preferred to take material action now to avoid a repeat of this scenario. That's it from us this evening. In our top story, clarity of policy helps attract investment, strengthen currency value. I'm SAHIH Samsudin. Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan. Thanks for watching.